Hi guys, thank you so much for all our attendees and our customers to join this event and this webinar. We are really happy and excited to discuss the panel discussion we had for maximizing mobile marketing performance, along with our panelist Rati Mehra. Rati, if you could just kindly introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Ashish. First of all, thank you so much, Aarki and SocialPeta, for giving me this opportunity. And, thank you so much for having me here. I'm Rati Mehra, and I'm working as an Associate Director, Sales and Partnerships at MAAS powered by Apple. I've been with Apple for a little more than 3 years now and been in the mobile ad tech space for 5 years. So I'm really excited to be here and to share my thoughts also around how MAAS is helping the advertisers in the market to really maximize their revenues with user acquisition. So looking forward to the panel today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rati. Thank you for that introduction. And moving forward, we have Pompika Gautam from Aarki. Pompika, kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you, Ashish. Hello, everyone. I am Pompika. I am the Senior Account Executive here in Aarki. I have been working with Aarki for more than 3 years, working in this mobile space for almost 7 years. So looking forward for a great discussion with all of you. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, Pompika. Thank you for that introduction. And let me introduce one of our panelists, a surprise guest, I would say. Pankaj Unyal is also, here in our panel discussion. Pankaj, if you could kindly introduce yourself, please. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Ashish, and thank you everyone for joining and having me here in this panel discussion. I'm excited to know what my esteemed panelists would like to tell more about the marketing experience, and I will share what I have in my kitty. So, looking forward for a nice conversation ahead. Thank you, Ashish. Back to you.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you for that quick introduction. And moving on, so we have some really great, exciting agendas today. We have a really solo presentation, exciting, insightful presentation by each of our panelists. First of all, we'll start with Rati. So Rati, if you could just kindly share your screen and, start your presentation. Yeah. Let me just stop sharing my screen. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Rati. No problem.
I hope you all can see my screen now.
Yeah, it's loading right now. Okay, yeah, we can see now. Yeah.
I think it's a little slow for me as well. Yeah. Sure. So I think today I chose this topic because I think it's a very obvious topic from the lens of marketers, especially in the year 2022, because we are hearing our advertisers, really speak this language of how to make every dollar count, and every dollar is really important when they are spending on user acquisition and really acquiring the users and retaining them and then converting them over the time. So I thought, why not, cover this today in this webinar. So of course, I'll be talking on 4 broad points. The first one being, how's the year early 2022 different for marketers from the yesteryears 2020 and 2021? How to choose the right channel for user acquisition, what is really effective user acquisition, and a quick overview of MAAS and what we do. So let's talk, quickly on some stats. If we see the smartphone penetration in India today, of course, we have a whooping 750 million users, on smartphones today in India as of 2021, and this is expected to grow to 1.2 billion in 2026. I think, of course, this change happened with Jio coming in, launching in India, and cheap data rates, of course, that created a huge impact. But along with that, if we look at the number of apps that are available to users to really explore and choose from, there are about 3.5 million apps, as of Q2 2022 on Google Play alone, which is the biggest Play Store globally, and followed by 2.09 million apps on the App Store. So of course, there's a lot of clutter, and the problem that the marketers face today is how to really make their mark, how to really make their app stand out. And I think a few stats which really indicate that the mobile app industry in India is, of course, booming in the past since the past few years, and expected to grow even further. I think 5G coming into India with data being faster, internet speeds being faster and picking up, gaming is expected to grow a lot, and there are many other segments which will grow. Along with that, there are so many UPI options available to users today to really pay online and to transact online. All this really indicates that, of course, there's a bright future for mobile app industry in India. Talking about the shift in thoughts, of course, before, I think from a marketer's lens, before, the traditional strategy that each marketer would apply to really acquire a user, and they will follow a funnel, which is like acquisition, which could relate to maybe an app install, activation, which I could say could be an in-app sign up, and engagement being the third step, which of course is engaging the user internally. For example, if it's an OTT app, then the marketer looks at more video views and more content being used, viewed over the time. And along with that, if it's a news app, for example, more articles being read is one of the metrics that they really look at. And fourth being the conversion and the final metric, which is more around, say, subscriptions or purchases in e-commerce case, etc. But this was the mindset probably in the yesteryears. Now marketers are only talking the language which is how to really achieve down the funnel metrics more than ever before. And I think this shift has, of course, happened because of the global economic downturn that we see. Of course, it has had less impact on India, thankfully, but we do see a little bit of a funding winter, right? So the sentiments have, of course, shifted. And 2022, I think, according to me, is the year of ROAS, because marketers are looking at engaging more and more in terms of their ROI, and getting the users to really pay. And I think even from a branding perspective or from an influencer marketing perspective, the spends are really being measured in terms of the ROIs that these channels are driving for them. And I read a term called and I could quote that this is the year of CPC. Don't, not the cost per click, but consent, personalization, and really the consumer experience, quoted by an industry senior this morning. So I think MAAS really is building on these trends, and we offer a model of working called the cost per converted user model of working, really. And of course, there's a lot of clutter in the market, and marketers have to juggle between hundreds of platforms and really how to choose which platform is right for them. There are several ad networks, several DSPs, several OEMs available. How to really choose the right go-to channel, and then there are so many dashboards and so much data to really juggle with and look at. So just for achieving one business outcome, which is obviously ROI. So I think we have really found the solution for our partners and advertisers. What we do at MAAS is we are a unified audience platform, and we really enable our advertisers to acquire users at scale across different supply sources that we bank upon. And we really bank on four different pillars. MAAS has four different pillars. The first one being our DMP audiences, which we sit on today, a 2.4 billion connected device ID data. And we have divided this data into several cohorts, like book readers, shoppers, online transactors, real money gaming players, betting players, etc., and several other cohorts like these. So we really know who's the right audience for the app marketer. Along with that, I think experience counts a lot. So we really make sure that we give the right experience to the users who are engaging with our partner, with our app marketer. So mCreate is the studio that really helps create the right set of creatives and really break the clutter and really make the advertisers' app stand out. Amplify is, of course, our inventory technology, where follow a multi-channel approach. So we have different channels under the MAAS umbrella, and we follow an approach that we find the right healthy mix of different inventories and different sources that the advertiser can really juggle between, and get the right insights on the M-Insight dashboard, which is our go-to dashboard for all our advertisers, and to really look at data on one single dashboard. And we are very transparent in our working. We give real-time insights to our advertisers to really help them understand which channel is really working for their advertising. Also, talking more on effective UA lens, I think to really do effective user acquisition, there are two important things. One is the quality, and the second is the scale. If an advertiser really runs after the quality and not achieve like good scale, then obviously your app is somewhere lost in the clutter, while you might have got some paid users. But whereas if you're running after scale and not really balancing out the quality of the users that you acquire, then again your ROI goals are not met. So in order to maintain a good balance, I think these two metrics are very important, and MAAS uses a healthy mix of inventories to really drive user acquisition in the most effective manner. Talking more from the lens of really who to reach out, so we help maximize your ROAS with the MDMP's custom audience segmentation. I think I already touched upon most of these segments, but then there are more interesting segments like vernacular speakers. We see a lot of vernacular apps coming up, and we are really heavy on this strategy to acquire vernacular users by driving vernacular creatives through MCreate studio. So really talking more on the experience, I think we have MCreate. How does your creative really stand out from the rest? We follow a lot of strategies, and we build persona-based recommendations. For example, if I saw a Nike ad today, Nike shoe ad today on Facebook, for example, so I'll be shown a similar product feed ad through MAAS solutioning. So we are doing personalization. We are believing in personalization and really showing the consumers what they are looking for. Talking about more ad formats which are available on several OEM platforms like Samsung, Oppo, Vivo, Xiaomi that we are partnered with. We have minus screen placements, native ad units. We have recommended app folders where your app can be shown. So there are multiple ad creatives available. In terms of inventories, as I spoke already, Amplify is the solution that helps run your campaign across media in a unified manner on one single dashboard. We have direct deals with leading apps in the market across entertainment, utility categories, and many other categories like gaming. We have OEM placements across all top 4 OEMs along with Huawei, Techno, and others. We also have our programmatic DSP inventory, which we really bank upon to drive high LTV users, tied up with 30+ ad exchanges where we actually buy the inventory and give our advertisers full transparency at in-app advertisement where their advertisement is being shown, etc. And of course, a lot of social apps on board as well where we advertise. I think touching upon the last pointer to really end my, I think, monologue, the universe is the same where we all are operating. That we don't live in an environment where there is infinite inventory available. So we have come up with this solutioning called the overlap index, where we really try and find the true channel to target the relevant users for the app marketers that we work with. Because we obviously say if an app marketer is working with us versus say another company and another company, and a third company, but there could be a lot of duplicacy of users which I might be reaching out and the others might be reaching out. So to be very honest, in order to make each dollar count, where we started the presentation, it's very important for the advertisers to really understand as to how to cut this overlap, and to understand this, we are helping our advertisers really understand. We of course need a little deeper level integrations with them, but we reduce their ad spillage and data overflow, which obviously saves them tons of dollars that they spend on marketing across channels. So this is a very powerful tool that we have come up with for our advertisers. And talking more on the insights I already touched upon, this is just a screenshot of some of our dashboards. On the M-Insight platform, we give deep level transparency to our advertisers and give them pub level insights as to which publisher is working well, which is not, and we obviously optimize accordingly. This is, of course, a quick recap talking about the mobile first user personas that we use to reach out to the right audiences. We, of course, take care of the experience that the user is going through by our clutter breaking ad units for those, customized personas, across placing these ads across different inventories on the M Amplify, and then giving the right insights to our advertisers. This really completes our user acquisition funnel, and we do this for our advertisers to give them a seamless experience of working with us. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I'm open to hear any questions that my audience might have. Thank you.
Sure, Rathi. Thank you so much for that resourceful information, and I'm sure our attendees would definitely have a question, and they can definitely put that into the chat. And if there is any question in specific, you can definitely have them answering by the end of the session, and we can then take it forward from there. All right, so thank you again, Rafi. And moving forward, now we have Pompika Gautam, who will be sharing her presentation with us and giving us the insights from Aarki.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Ashish. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Today, my topic is key pillars to a successful retargeting campaign. So I would start with a brief introduction about my company, Aarki. Then I'll go ahead with the strategies of a retargeting campaign and end up with a small case study. So who is Aarki? Aarki is an AI-enabled DSP platform. We help in new user acquisition as well as retargeting. Aarki uses machine learning, big data, and engaging creatives to grow and re-engage the mobile users for every app marketer. So talking about our performance, we have the capacity to drive 5 million plus queries per second. We have successfully acquired 70K plus daily users for our largest customer. Aarki is a global company. It's headquartered in US. We have our offices in 18 different locations, and we have also achieved 12 plus industry awards. So next is about retargeting. So once I was discussing with a friend of mine who is into a e-commerce, new e-commerce company. He was handling the app. I was just asking him like what is he in the users? What is the user behavior? He just said that the new users download the app. They happily engage for a few days. They gradually, after engaging for a few days, they sometimes buy a few products, and gradually they stop using the app and uninstall the app, and sometimes they uninstall the app. So what you want to see is that the users download the app, they happily engage for a few days, they keep on using the new feature, they use the new options that are given in the app, then they keep on re-engaging, and also they refer to others. That is what every app marketer wishes to see in their app. So now come the challenges. What is the biggest challenge that every app marketer faces? So the biggest challenge is the decrease in engagement across various segments. The retention rate is something which every marketer is facing. This is as challenges. It's not about like users are going out. It's about they're going out from different segments of the app. So there are some basic questions which I get every day from everyone that regarding retargeting. The first question would be what is retargeting? So retargeting is basically a strategy to maximize on existing app users. So every app marketer wants new users, right? They use various ways, various Google, Facebook campaign to get new user. But retargeting helps us to maximize those existing users so that they re-engage again and again. It also prevents them from the churn. And the question is, why do we need retargeting? Why? The reason is, as Rati told us, 2022 is the year of ROAS. So every app marketer whom I speak to, whom I go and talk about, they speak about ROI. Their end goal is to just get ROI. So retargeting helps to increase the LTV users, that is high lifetime value users, who is a great contributor of ROI. So whenever the marketers run a UA campaign paired with a retargeting campaign, it can give them the best result. So talking about how do we find out that we need retargeting? The first and foremost thing which every marketer should do is they review the campaign. They should observe and how their users are behaving. Are they engaging into the app how they intend to? What they should calculate, they should very much calculate the growth rate and the churn rate. So whenever the churn rate is more than the growth rate, then it is a very high time that we should go to a DSP, discuss the concern, and try out a retargeting campaign. So talking about the process, so it's whenever we start a retargeting campaign, the first and the foremost thing we need is the data. The marketer has to give us a list of users who have already left the app and they were not active for almost 7 days or 14 days. The DSP utilizes those data to find them in those users in the bid stream. They use different prediction model, machine learning models to target those users. With, I would say, personalized creative on the basis of that, on which point they left the app. So which I'll be discuss on the slides after. And then the users come back and re-engages with the app. So now, and let's see, like, what are the pillars of a successful campaign? The most important thing when it comes to a retargeting campaign is the segmentation of the data. So as we all know, everything goes under the data. So data is the key driver for each and every campaign, whether it is a user acquisition campaign or a retargeting campaign. So data plays a very important role. The first thing which we need is segmenting the data. So basically, every user leave the app at a certain point of time. Some just visit the app, see the features and go away. Some keeps there, do some activity and leaves the app. They don't uninstall the app, they keep it and they don't use it for months. And there are certain users who used to be re-engaged again and again for 2 or 3 months, after which they exited the app. So we have to understand those behavior of the audience and plan the campaign in such a way and with some tailored creative, so that the users are more users become engaged and come back to the app again. The another most important thing is the effective creative practices. So basically, there are 2 types of creative which we apply in the retargeting strategy. So first is the static one. We divide the audience in various segments. So we have a defined creatives which we send to different segments of audience. So according to that, they come back. The another most effective, I would say, strategy is the dynamic retargeting strategy, where we understand the user behavior, their past activity. For example, the user has keep on looking shoes for quite a long time, then he left the app, he is not coming back for last 1 month. Then we have to show them the shoe ads, the price going down and all those. So this is a kind of this is an example of personalized creative. So here is a 2 sample of 2 different category of app. First is a gaming app where, the user went back. So there's an emotional connectivity with the team. So we generally say that the team wants you back. There's a new season coming up. So another is the non-gaming app, whereas the user might have seen this product many times, and because of the price and there's no discount, they left the app. And this is whenever there is a new sale going on, we notify the user with such kind of creative. So what is the role of machine learning in re-engaging users? So when we have a DSP onboarded for a retargeting campaign, they uses custom model. They understand the set of audience, like what is the reason behind leaving, what is the character, what is the behavior of the audience, are they a frequent buyer, are they a frequent gamer. So according to that, they create various different models to re-engage the users again. The models are trained continuously, so generally we ask for non-attributed installs and events to our clients. So the reason behind is that whenever we keep on getting those data, we can train our models with more data, so that the result is more effective and we can optimize the result. So how will the marketer know that the retargeting campaign is working properly? So there is a test which we generally do, incremental lift test. We done a PSA creative along with our personalized creative, and with the help of that, the client can understand like what is the effectiveness of the retargeting strategy. Deprecation of IDFA. So last year was a tough year for all of us. So there was the abolition of IDFA. So when it came into place, there was various prediction and anticipation that are going on. But we certainly have overcome that. We are successfully able to run various retargeting campaign using various ML algorithms. So according to the report, it's even higher than what it is anticipated. Of course, it has changed the way where how we used to run user acquisition and retargeting campaign. But for sure, we have come up with new techniques, new ideas, and moreover, next year, I don't know if Google will do the same. We are all prepared for that. So now I would like to share a small case study from a client called GemCity. They have a Bing Pop app. So what the client asked for three things. One is the targeting global scale. To what the DSP partner should support multiple ad formats and personalized creative. And they have a huge churn of users that are going back. They wanted to increase their ROI. So what Aarki did is Aarki developed a strategy for personalized creatives. They target the users on various levels. There are certain users who have never played the game. So they showed them various ways to come back to the app. They gave them various bonus, various points to start the game. There are certain users who left the game after few levels. They didn't. We gave them some extra chance, and we gave them some I would say some notice like come back and play again. We also targeted the very active users who were already in the app for quite a long time. We gave them the message that you come back, there's some new update coming on the app. And as a result of doing that, their ROI performance has increased drastically. Their CPR has lowered to 30% of what they did. And it is something, it's always good to have clients' feedback. We got one from GemCity here and one from the Asia Innovation Group, which is a UpLive game. We have done retargeting for them as well. Yeah. Thank you. Over to you, Ashish.
All right. Thank you, Pompika. That was, again, as I said, similar to Rafi, it was really insightful. And, we really understood that, machine learning and AI is really getting into the retargeting, which is going to be like really useful, I think, in the future. And as you said, 2022 is really, we are really testing the waters right now for the COVID. So again, thank you again for those, insightful presentation. And then just for our attendees, in case they have any questions for Pompika and as well as for Rafi, please be, you can ask them and we'll handle those questions. We'll answer those questions by the end of the presentation. All right. So moving forward, so I'll be also one of the presenters also. I did not introduce myself and I apologize for that. My name is Ashish and I work with the SocialPeta. And I've been into this market for almost, I would say, 5 years, and more into SaaS platforms, SaaS selling platforms and everything. And I recently joined SocialPeta, which I really like their ideology of understanding the ad creatives. And that really, attracted me to work towards with SocialPeta. Now I'm going to be doing a presentation on how as SocialPeta has understood the market and found out a way that you can actually reduce your CPI by making really good, excellent ad creatives. So let me just share my screen here. Okay. I hope it's visible to all. Okay, great. All right, so 2022, we're coming back and, we're planting our feet right after the 2022 and, COVID era and, the post-pandemic era. And a lot of things have actually stalled down, and we have understood we are taking the market in a completely different approach now. Now, what we are focused as Rapi, and Pompik has already pointed out, that we are now looking for the revenue back in whatever ad spend they're doing. If they are posting an ad, they would like revenue out of it. It's not, earlier it was a testing phase, then it stalled, then it started back again, and we are kind of in a mix. So the first half of 2022 global mobile app marketing, we really wanted to focus on which apps have really done excellent in terms of their ad creatives. And they have done, a good business overall in the downloads, in the in-app revenue and overall. So this is a quick graph to show you how the insight into global app marketing. You could really say that, in the first half of 2022, we have about 70,000 advertisers focused specifically on the non-gaming part. Now, gaming is entirely different. Gaming, we have huge market data available. And for non-gaming, we saw about 70,000 advertisers. Surprisingly, it was less than what we saw in the 2022, in the previous year. That's about 7% decline into it. So as I said, things are really changing up, and we are trying to catch up. Hopefully, the second half will be much better for us. Now, this is just a quick overview of what the advertiser per month are doing really in terms of which industry they're really focused on, and what creatives have been really circulating on the social global platforms such as Meta platforms, Google Ads, and all that. So surprisingly, we see reading ad creatives are almost 700 a month. However, on the other hand, the advertiser per month for shopping is about almost 12.4 thousand. So there's a slight misbalance, I would say, into that. We have high competition into creators for the reading apps versus the shopping. Now, what we did, so as I said earlier, SocialPeta really understood the ideology. If anything, what we have learned from ancient history and modern history, that ad creatives are the most important factor for any product. You could have the best product in the world, but if you do not market it right, unfortunately, people will never get to know about it. Decade-long, ad creators battles we have seen, like Pepsi versus Cola, and we have seen BMW versus Mercedes. You could probably just go to Google and find out YouTube these ads, and you would see really funny and creative ads, which these brands have done. And not just by posting these ads, they have really focused on to promote their brand as one of the best brand. Now, Meta platform in 2022, even for the previous year, what we have found that Meta platform is by default, and Google has as well. But Meta platform has really, on the top of the game in terms of advertisers. So if you see that the categorization we have done, as we saw in the previous slide, reading apps have done about 700 creatives a month. So the CPM and CPC is obviously high, but as the CTR percentage. So 1636 for the CPM, CPC $1.27, and a 2.39 cent conversion. And similarly, at the very bottom, we see the finance and production as well. And the CPMs of mobile apps, based on the sex ratio, it's like $8.44 and 9. By looking at this graph, what really is to understand is for our attendees is that what kind of apps if they're into development, what kind of apps really we should be really focused on, and how easy it's for them to, or how difficult it's for them to promote their brand, specifically on meta platforms. They would be able to understand that this is what CPC I would be spending. This is how much. So the understanding that they should not go under budget, they should not go over budget. They should have the right budget, which SocialPeta is much more capable to handle in our dashboard. Now, the cost on meta platforms, obviously, we've done a country-wise breakup, and historical pattern has showed that US has always been on the top in terms of the CPC, in terms of the CPM. It's cutthroat competition outside, but again, the higher the risk, the higher the rewards. So if you do plan to launch your application in your versus your competitor in the US market, obviously your budget would be slightly higher, but as will be your rewards. So we did the first half. In the first half, CPM, we saw that $11.88 is for the US market and $1.08 for CPC. And at the bottom, you could see Japan, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, and other countries at the bottom, wherein it's the Southeast Asian market, the Asian market, which we have seen a huge rise in the mobile users. And the 5G, as what he said earlier, and Pompika said earlier, pointed out. And of course, in India, we are going to launch it. Our Honorable Prime Minister will be launching it in the on October 1st. We'll be launching 5G, which would have a really, really high impact on the TU, not just T1 cities, but the T2 and T3 cities also. Now, quickly understanding the tool apps, so tool apps is something which has been really, really, there into the marketing, into the Google Play Store as well as Android Chrome and the Apple App Store, I'm sorry. About 70% of the total creatives are on Android market. So yes, there is a niche market for iOS, but again, if you're looking to do a volume business, Android is your choice. Now, we did a segregation and we understood and we did the maths, I would say in simpler terms, who had the highest creatives and how did they really benefit out of it. So if you see both on iOS and Android, Newspeak from Particle Media has done exceptionally well in terms of the ad creatives, and followed by WhatsApp, by Meta, and then Domestika for iOS. And for Android, we see Newspeak Lite again, within the terms of ad creatives, and Sheen Group at the third number. So these guys are really pushing out the limits, pushing out the boundaries in terms of doing the ad creatives and understanding the market and reaching out most of the mobile users which we have currently into the market. And they understood that the more you promote your product, the more downloads you would have. And obviously, SocialPeta is much more capable to handle all these kind of data analysis, and we have done this and we have put that in the presentation. But in our dashboard is much more capable to handle all these queries. Moving on to the top mobile apps, TikTok, everyone is aware, all the attendees, all the panelists, everyone in the world do know about TikTok. So there's no introduction required. Downloads in Q1, 98 millions. They're doing something right. And, 2015, since their release, they have huge data, into the market. And this is just a quick analysis, like what really went well for them and what kind of platform they really focused on. Facebook, Instagram, they really posted a lot of ads, carousel ads, images ads, HTML ads. Those are the key formats and key media they used to promote their product, which made them a huge success. So we can definitely take some key points out of that. And this is one of the most popular creative that they have posted, and since 143 days have had almost 2.10 million estimated impression. And that really shows it's like sort of have an human emotion and the animal emotion and all that together. It's quite interesting to see wildlife attracts everyone. So that's where they nailed it in terms of the ad creatives. Now, these are some of the live streaming app creatives which we have seen, which had huge ad creatives and they reaped the benefits at the end of the day for that. Now, Hakuma, Uplive, and the other app also. The common elements they had, the beauty, the filters, the voice tags, the hot dance and everything. Sort of a visual shock for the customers also. They really would like to see this, especially the boys. And so definitely, and that definitely did help to promote their product. Now, comic apps, as we saw in the first few slides, that reading apps has been doing exceptionally high creatives. So we understood that comic apps is one of the reading apps. And these are the common elements for these top three, apps who have done exceptionally well in terms of ad creatives, downloads, and revenues. Also, the successful lives, post-traumatic growth, beauties, and all that are the common element which they posted, which they showed to the user, to the end user, which really attracted the audience. Now, one of the most popular Android, just means. All right. So Keep Clean is one of the app, which has done exceptionally well, and they've really understood the market. Now, Keep Clean is one of those one of those app and one of those creatives you would have saw. On my mother's phone, I always see this. The memory is full. My mother, comes to me, my phone is not going to work. What am I going to do about this? So they really hit the home run with this, and they really kind of scared the customer overall that you would not be able to use your phone in case if if your phone is full of memory. So people end up, of course, it's a very useful tool of useful application also. It's not something which it's just there in the market, but it does really help out. But their idea of how they created, how they targeted the user is one of the best what we have seen so far. The estimated impression is almost 12 millions. You could see the dimension platform. All these information is available at your fingertips in SocialPeta dashboard. And the platform, we have multiple things: your cost intelligence, your audience intelligence, understanding each and every ad creatives. What kind of, is it a image ad? Is it going to be a video ad? Is it going to be these things? And it actually gives you the power on your fingertips that what you want out of your, your application, your game promotion, and everything. I'm running short of time. Moving on, so about SocialPeta, you can gain insight into competitors' advertising data. The idea is that you'll be informed and inspired by advertising data of different dimensions, of different global networks, different media and advertisers, understanding them. So if you just see the screenshot, we have about 24 global different networks which are available in the market right now, and you can do your app promotion on these platforms, and you can understand from your competitor analysis point of view that what exactly they're doing right. And since Korea and Japanese network they have a huge user base of mobile users, but again, they don't use these global networks. So they have their own Korean and Japanese network, which we kept in mind because we don't want you as a consumer to miss out on these huge opportunities. Some of our leading, companies, who has chosen, SocialPeta as their tool, NetEase Games, Tencent Games, a lot of other these games which are available. All right. So that is it from my side. If you have any questions, attendees, and I would love to answer those questions. Please post them in the chat, and I would love to give you an idea, at least be able to help you with a satisfactory answer. All right, let me just quickly share my screen again. All right. So the agenda has been done, and now we are moving on to the panel discussion. Right. All right. So, we obviously saw, Rati's presentation was exceptionally good, and, we understood a lot of key points out of it. I was able to, gather one of the questions to which I wanted to ask Rati directly. Okay. So what are some tips to choose from the right, most lucrative channel to spend in the long run, Rati? If you would be, kind enough to give us an answer on that.
Sure. Thank you so much, Ashish, for the appreciation. I think a few tips to choose the right channel. I think one is that the marketer should really know the strengths and weaknesses of each channel, because as you must have seen in my presentation, and the audience must have seen, that there are several platforms that are available in the market, and MAAS also in fact offers a lot of bunch of inventories. So maybe let me quote an example from our current inventory pool. We have the MDSP versus we also have a lot of direct in-app sources. So if we weigh both the sources, both are lucrative in their own way. maybe your in-app direct sources can give you great scale in a short amount of time and give you a decent quality of users who will have a decent LTV in the funnel. But on the other hand, the MDSP is a programmatic channel, and programmatic channels generally take a lot. Maybe about we say about from experience about 6 to 8 weeks to really show the right results to the advertisers in terms of the acquisition funnels. We saw that MDSP is probably a slow channel from that lens of driving scale in that amount of time, but will give you very high LTV users. At the same time, mass exchange can drive quality and scale, in a short amount of time. So I think the advertisers should really know that which inventory has what strengths and weaknesses, and should keep searching for gold mines and not stop testing the different inventories available. That's my first tip. I think the second one could be, the right creative solutioning. And I think Pompik also shared a lot around creatives. So I think that's very important. And the right targeting and, the data that the company is really playing on. I think these are some important factors that, an advertiser should really look for while choosing the most lucrative channel, according to me, I think.
Great. Thank you for that, Ravi. Thank you. I think it's a really good answer, and I hope our audience were able to grasp that and understood. And as I said, again to the attendees, if they have their own question for Ravi or any of our panelists, please be sure to give us a shout out. Please post your question in the chat, and we will be able to answer those. Now, moving on to Aarki, to Pompika Cotton, really good presentation again. Just wanted to understand from your perspective, Pompika, that what would be your top tip as a as an industry specialist? What would be your top tip in the terms of a mobile ad creative? So perhaps the attendees would be able to learn it from you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ashish. Yeah, so there are several creative strategies that every marketers use. They use different strategies, but my recommendation, like I would like to say that personalization is the best way to drive a successful campaign. So we need to understand our audience, the market, the competition, and then we can able to run a successful campaign by creating like personalization in the creative. So as you know, data is the key. So using data driven insight significantly help us to serve the right ad to the right person at the right time. It's always about like, are we showing the right ad to the right person and also at the right time? So basically, we need to work on the data side. So we need to understand the behavior of the user, like what the users are exactly looking for, what they are looking. For example, I would like to, I actually I'm looking for Indian wear for the coming festivals. So I look at it, I go back and keep on doing some other stuff. Then I keep on getting all the notification, all the ads of the Indian wear, beautiful Indian wear coming up. So usually the time actually. So I don't like to see it every time, those kind of ad. Whenever I'm free, I'm in a mood of doing online shopping. So that is the time where when I see that those kind of ads, I'm very, it's very probable for me to go check the product and even buy it. And I have done it personally many times. So the most important thing is, I would say, to identify the audience and to show them the correct ad. So and also, I would say, being in a DSP, what we usually do is that we can keep on testing various creatives. It is not that it is always the same. We'll show the same ad to the person the same time. We keep on testing various creative. We keep on testing banners, display, videos. We keep on optimizing them. We keep on checking the ROI, the CPI on various creative, and keep on doing tests. Yeah, and I think that is the tip which I want to give: personalized creative, and also keep on testing keep on testing different creatives so that we can deliver the freshest and the most relevant ads to the audience. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you for that, Pompika. That was a really good answer. I hope the attendees who have paid, have joined our session would definitely have some questions around it. But anyways, you could share your details by the end of the session, and they can probably contact you directly in case they have any personal, any questions pertaining to your PPT. Same goes for FI as well. Now, moving on, since we have Pankaj from SocialPeta as well, I really wanted to ask from Pankaj, from his perspective, for Indian market specifically, what are the key challenges? What are the issues app marketers in Indian market they're facing while promoting their brands? So, Pankaj, please take away. Stage yours.
Thank you, Ashish. And I was listening to very good conversation from Rati and Pompika. I mean, it's really an eye opener for some of us. As you asked, like, what are the main objections in the market? I think the first important thing, and I think Rati and Pompika has also pointed out, that knowing your right customer is a best strategy. I mean, there are people who are just launching the products and without knowing the right customer, not doing these strategies, targeting the right audience. They are just spending too much on the SEO and paid advertising, and probably just lost in somewhere in the competition. So knowing your customer, just to make sure that you can generate the right qualified leads for the marketing and sales purposes. And also, I mean, these SEOs are getting too costly day by day. I mean, paid ads such as like the Facebook and the Google, they are like likely to rise in the cost. So marketers will have to find like another ways which are less costly marketing lead generation strategies, probably like LinkedIn or video marketing, developing their own interactive channels, or probably webinars or virtual meetings like we guys are doing. That can also help them in longer run to save money and probably contact the right set of audience. And along with it, they need to focus more on the creating the engaging content, as we have seen in your presentation as well. I mean, most of the successful tools are using the video contents or the interactive contents for the audience at the moment. The reason is if you have interactive content in your website or in your promotion, you can have more engagement. It is mobile users actually using all these platforms. So they need something which is interactive, and they can have questions, they can have feedbacks from the product. As Pompika said, if she or someone has to buy a product. So if you are buying a product, just checking the cost, that's not enough for a customer. And big players like Amazon and other shopping apps, there you can actually check the real feedback from the clients or the other customers. So we need to have a strategy like wherein a customer can leave their feedbacks, and we can use them as a use case for the next customers. So it has to be interactive, video, as well as for the comments. Also, as Rati also mentioned in her presentation, that it is a mobile first strategy which is going to be hit. I mean, the reason is, I mean, more than 90% of the customers are using the mobile apps for any kind of purchases or any kind of business transactions. So we have to test our apps. I mean, in all the mobiles, on the mobile sets, and all the platforms. I mean, iOS and the Androids, and also the tabs. The reason is, I mean, if you put a creative or a video on your website just for the marketing purpose, it will take longer time to download in the mobile app instead of a desktop version. So you just have to make the strategy, and you have to have the right tools so that your end user can actually see your ad creatives without wasting their time. Or if it is like taking so long time, or probably it is not running well in any kind of handset or any kind of iOS or Android platform. So probably you will have less footfall from the next time, and you won't have the repeat customers. So these kind of strategies, I think most of the ad companies have to I look forward. And again, the last thing that I would like to mention, I mean, you have to go with the technology. I mean, the Google's algorithms, they are changing day by day. So you have to be ready, and your team, I mean, they need to know that like what are the latest features, the rules and the algorithms, which are recently released by this engine giant. So if you have all the strategies in your mind, probably you can have a big hit. So that's all I have to say, Ashish. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj, for that. That was quite explanatory, and I think he covered most of the points. I was also hoping to add some of it, but he didn't leave me any choice. Uh, but yeah, again, as I said, Pankaj, I've really covered all corners and everything. Uh, just like to add a couple of points. The USP. They really need to understand, the audience. There's a huge factors, the huge age segregation what we have seen. Now, I'm not just talking about any specific application or any specific shopping app or anything. In general, like we have seen between age from 15 to 20, we see a lot of gaming, exciting people, let's say, Tinder onwards and Bumble and all that. They really like to focus on that. So then an app developer, like if I am an app developer, I would really focus on the age groups of people. So between 30 onwards or 25 onwards, people really start to earn and everything. So I would target my customers, my application for shopping for those particular sector between 25 to 30 for shopping. Get the money out of them. And before that, there would be, so there's a saying that cash them young. A lot of people, they need to understand the mobile app marketing is, those applications which we are developing as an app developer, each and every company, when they focus on, new young age, they really start a pattern which actually follows by the end of like, let's say 10, 20 years also. Me personally, like I'm not that old, but again, I started with a very small, Nokia 1100 phone. We had no apps, nothing, just to call and everything. Sorry. My first phone, I think, it was a Moto Razor, no apps or nothing into it. It was like really cool looking phone. Really broke easily. Again, but I was able to use it for a very long time. But I'm not the most, careful guy in terms of using, these expensive things. Now, even at this moment, I'm not sure if attendees would believe it or not. I have an old phone which is like almost 5 years old, a OnePlus 16, but I have so many apps into it. The app marketers have created and targeted me and people like me at a certain age group and everything. They have targeted us. They have understood the mindset. I have gaming apps. I have shopping apps. I have food delivery apps. I have Uber. I have Ola and everything. These are most utilities apps. So people really need to start developing all these kind of apps and understand the target, the audience, frame, right? Mind frame, and then they target them. So these are some of the challenges. If they are able to overcome that, product itself definitely will sell. So yeah, that's just my key takeaway from this question. All right, I do not see any questions at the moment from any of the attendees at the moment. But again, gentle reminder: you could ask any question, and we'll be more than happy to answer. Again, we have one particular question we wanted to discuss really with all of the panelists, and wanted to understand your what's your understanding on it. So of course, since after COVID, we have come after, we are seeing we're into a new sea right now. We are understanding the market. We're testing the waters right now. So what to all our panelists, what do you think is the most, the major concern, or maybe an issue, or maybe a trend the mobile advertising industry would actually see in, second half or the, going forward in 2023 or so? Maybe we could start with Pompika, and, then we can move on. Yeah.
Sure, Ashish. So, yeah, our world, everything has changed. Again, we never thought of working from home for such a long period of time. All of a sudden, pandemic came over and everything has changed. We never thought of like consulting a doctor online. So, we have experienced many new things in the last 2 years. There's a lot of changes. Talking about the advertising industry, the Apple privacy changes has impacted a lot, I would say. The UA and retargeting campaign are not like before. I would say that after this, the marketers, the advertisers are more data driven than ever. This and the recession, I would say, the whole world which is facing right now has created a lot of competition in the industry. Uh, they are more focused into ROI, which I have discussed before. So this pushes marketers to think and optimize in a more better way, and outside their usual process. Things are changing after iOS. We are all talking about GID being abolished by Google. So yeah, we are preparing ourselves in a different way. Yeah. So apart from that, there's one more thing that the changes I would say I'd like to discuss is the prevalence of video ads and content. So according to a report which I read a few days before in Business of Apps, that this format has dominated the entire advertising and social media for the longest period ever. So because of the thing that how they're engaging, they're easy to it is very easy for it to consume the information and all. We are actually glued into the videos. We are very much into reels these days. So this is one of the, I would say, the short videos. This is one of the solution marketers can leverage and be good at a bit of the competition. So yeah, I think this is it. Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you, Pompika. That was that was really great to hear. Prati, it's the same topic. What's your giveaways, your points over this?
Sure, thank you. Good thoughts, Pompika. I think you already covered a few points that I had in mind. But of course, pre-COVID, post-COVID, hopefully post-COVID, the era is totally different. COVID, in fact, gave a lot of apps the opportunity to grow a lot. We saw a lot of uptick in a lot of segments like grocery, 10 minutes food delivery, happened after, probably during and after COVID. And then not only that, but if we talk about edutech, that grew, to leaps and bounds during COVID, because obviously kids couldn't go to school. I think, of course, there's a lot of change. I think things are coming to maybe normalcy. A lot of habits have changed in the last 2 years, and it'll keep changing, obviously, with changing times. But I think two or three trends, in fact, that I can think of, which will rule the market, or in the current scenarios. From what I see, I'm very excited to see personally the change that Google has come up recently with around the DFS and Rummy apps. We are very big in gaming at MAAS, and they have allowed a pilot for the first time ever in India to allow all your fantasy gaming apps and your Rummy apps on Google Play Store for a year. So I'm really excited to see, we are already talking to our advertisers, and interesting to know their thoughts and their take on, there are suits being filed and whatnot. But, interesting to see how that, is growing, and how that will, come into really impact, the overall advertising ecosystem, because gaming is a big vertical in the market. And, we are constantly seeing a lot of these new upcoming, games, even the play to earn and free to play models both. So yeah, this is one trend that I'm very excited about. And in fact, the pilot starts on 28th, which is yesterday. So the listing process must have started for a lot of apps. So yeah, looking forward to that. And the other trend that I'm very excited to see is also around the NFTs and metaverse, because a lot has been, being talked about for the last 1.5 years or 2 years in India. And a lot of brands are already testing the waters with their personalized NFTs, and, companies coming up with apps for kids, and then, making those artworks into NFTs. So a lot of interesting things happening, and relating to that, gamification. A lot of apps have already tried it, and a lot of others are trying it. Media companies getting into gaming. So interesting things happening, I think, around these 2-3 trends, and I'm excited to see what the times ahead bring in. So yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Rafi. Unfortunately, the time has, really run out, and, I don't know where the time really flew in this 1 hour. So we had a lot of really good session. Pankaj and I, we both had some, good points, but I think we'll try to wrap this session up now. Uh, uh, just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to check if we have any particular question from any attendee. Unfortunately, not at the moment. But perhaps, Rafi and Pompika, maybe share their email addresses or, whatever, perhaps on the chat, and maybe they can contact you directly in case if they have any particular question in mind. And then you can, definitely take it forward from there. Uh, so yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me just put my email address here. Okay, that's for the host. Just give me 1 second. All right. Anyways, let's wrap it up. I think I'm not so tech savvy, but I'm sure the details will be available on LinkedIn and everything. And thank you again for all the panelists to join the session. Thank you all, the attendees to for giving your valuable time to us. And let us know if you have any question. We'll be looking forward to do similar webinars along with MAAS and Aarki in the future as well.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
All right.
Ashish.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Everyone.
We had a
Thanks.
great time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Session. Thank you.